Hi, I'm Robin,
And I'm Kristen.
and we are back with the second half. No, we are
Yeah,
the
second
second
half.
half of Run BTS episode 73 through 76. We've covered 73 and 74. I hope you guys
Last week.
enjoyed that.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to start it now on 75.
Yes, so 75. Now they're starting to do those flashback scenes. They're starting to film
Mm.
those in the different parts of the house. And I think we start off with Jin coming into the kitchen.
Yeah, we start off with Jin,
Yeah.
yes.
So Jin comes into the kitchen to get something to eat, opens the refrigerator, or tries to open a refrigerator, and there's a blockage. And it's Jimin asleep on the floor in pajamas. That's why I mentioned pajamas. And he's in pajamas. And he does a slow turtle crawl out of the kitchen, out of the way. Sloth like crawl, yeah. I guess sloth is better. And then Jin reaches into the refrigerator, but realizes that it's full of cosmetics, which is why they have rule number 1. And so he's searching for food. Meanwhile, JK comes up behind him, grabs his toner and applies it, asks him if he's going to eat anything. And if he wants some toner, not to eat, but just offers the toner. And Jin's just like, this is ridiculous.
Yes.
And walks away. So funny scene. They went through it quite a few times because I think Jin kept ad-libbing something, and they kept
that scene.
I think so.
Okay.
He ad-libbed a lot.
Yeah,
I realized he did a lot of the ad-libbing, and he didn't stick to his script.
Because
he's worldwide handsome. He doesn't.
Yeah, it's just like what? My words are just as important.
So he ended up doing his reaction, his over-the-top reaction to seeing all the cosmetics in the fridge.
Right.
He did it the first time, and they liked it, so then he had to keep doing it.
Yeah.
And I feel like they did it like 27 times. But yeah, they had to, every time they had to do a new take, and then when they had to do the close up of Jimin on the floor, and then the close up of behind Jin's shoulder looking into the fridge, and then the close up of JK coming in. Like, it was just so many close ups.
Yeah.
And then you just kept hearing his overly exaggerated whoa. Yeah. As he looks into the fridge. So by the time they were done, everybody was just kind of saying that at him.
Yeah. Did you get the reason that Jimin was sleeping on the floor?
Based on all of the different takes that they had, or not the takes, the different scenes that they had with him sleeping, it seems like he just his character of himself in this drama just falls asleep wherever.
Oh, okay.
And everywhere but his own room.
Yeah.
Because he was asleep on the kitchen. He was sleep in J-Hope's clothes. Yes. And he was on the sofa, but I don't think he was asleep.
He was not asleep on the sofa,
but he was relaxed.
He was very relaxed, yes.
So I think he just finds a spot, gets comfortable. Yeah, it gets comfortable. It doesn't matter. Well, I guess sleep can hit him at any moment, and he's just has to be ready.
Well, I was just wondering because I mean, I don't believe, or I don't remember them ever explaining why he's asleep. But
they don't. Yeah. They said Jin says to him, "Go to your room," or "Why aren't you in your room?" or something, and he just says something about liking being there, and as he crawls out or something like that. Yeah. And that's just it. And then he does his little like tuck and roll and out of the scene, and that was cut. That was it.
That was it. Yeah, and you know what? I forgot to mention, because I thought about this after all the takes, for when the first scene that they were doing, there's so many takes, and Sugar just said, music is much easier.
He did say that. He did say that. And then when we get to the beginning of 75, he's not there. He's missing. And I guess he was probably asleep in his fake room, his set. You were like, he's probably off doing music because it's easier. Yeah, but I realized he wasn't there. I was sitting on counting heads as we do for some reason. Whenever we see them, we're like, okay, all 7.
Everybody's there.
Everybody's there. Yeah. So yeah, I noticed he wasn't there, and I feel like there was somebody else that wasn't there. It was Jen, no RM. Jimin was in the scene.
RM did, but he might have been changing.
No, RM was seated next to V.
Yeah, but there was a time when he wasn't there when Sugar and Jimin took
Oh
over,
yeah.
the assistant part.
Mm.
So yeah, but anyway, uh so then 74, I'm sorry, 75 and 76 was primarily, like you said, uh filming, taping all of the different scenes
Throughout the
throughout
dorm.
throughout the drama.
And then we got to see it at the end of 76.
Yes, yes.
The whole thing.
Which was really good.
It was good.
It was really
Although I
good.
did notice some stuff, like I noticed Suga reacting to his own suggestion. There was another part, and it was funny because they did bring this to Tay's attention when he did the scene. But even when I saw the scene, I still noticed that he did something similar. So he has a scene where he goes into Suga's room, Rm's in there, and he's got a destruction. He's breaking something. And so V goes to sit down on the bed and sits down on Sugar, but of course he knows Sugar's there. So in the first take, he kind of looks down to see if he's sitting in the right place to not, hurt Yoongi.
Yeah.
And I think it's Jimin who says, "Oh yeah, you kind of look over as if you're already anticipating somebody's there." And he goes, "Oh okay, I'll fix that." But in the final cut, you see him kind of place his hand down to feel, like he doesn't look, but he kind of places his hand down to feel, and then he sits down. And I was like, oh, see now, like I know that you know that there's somebody there.
And
So,
and they also did that with Sugar, because when he's looking at himself in the mirror and he makes a comment, he looks
at the camera.
Oh,
there were quite a few moments where they all
he looks
looked
at the camera, and they had to say no, cut. But then there was also the shadow. I think, was it JK shadow?
It was a staffer.
It was a staffer. Okay,
staff
yeah,
shadow
yeah.
in the mirror, so they had to
Right,
reposition.
so they had to reposition that and stuff. So there's a lot of little technical things when, but I've seen in movies where they kind of let those little things go by. I'm like, that person shouldn't have been standing there. They had no business.
I was just watching. I just came across this TikTok about the worst continuity that they've ever seen, and it was in an episode of Gilmore Girls, and it's a scene where Rory is, I don't remember what the character's name that she's talking to, but they're in, I think, the bookstore or something, and behind the person she's talking to is the front of the store. So like the door in its glass, and so you can see the patrons outside, or the people walking by that are coming in. And in that scene, this couple came into view to look at the same box of books like 4 times. 4 times in that one scene. And so like every time it cut to the girl that she's talking to, when it cut to Rory's POV,
right,
and here they come, they just kind of walk in and bend down and look in, and then the next time it cuts her, they're come right in again. And then there's one part where it cuts to her and they start coming into the shop, and then the next time they're outside looking in the box, and I'm just like, how does nobody catch that? Like I understand that you're doing it in a like a what probably happened is that she said her lines and they were like, and like cue, and that was their cue to walk as soon as she starts talking.
Right.
But I think they needed to be better about it. Like, okay, at this line you're coming in, and at this line you're here, and at this line you're looking in the box,
right,
and at this line you're coming in the store. Like it's funny when they let things slip like that. The other very infamous one is Game of Thrones with the Starbucks cup. Yes, so there's a scene in Game of Thrones where they're in the hall, and I think I can't remember. It's a very serious scene, as most scenes are in Game of Thrones, and basically somebody's life is on the line, and you just look over and there's a Starbucks cup. I think it's at the end of the table from one of the main actors, and I'm just like, how did they miss that? How did they miss that? And so it's funny when you have those situations happen, and you're just like, who was asleep on the job?
How many times have I watched ER?
Oh my gosh. You want me to actually count?
No, but thanks for asking. But what I've noticed in several of their scenes is when they're doing a serious trauma, and they're passing things back and forth between, the doctors on either side of the patient. there's this, well, it's happened more than once, but there's just one time that it's just so obvious. They're passing the same bag of blood back and forth between the nurses.
Oh, wow.
Nobody's
It's
hanging
like-
the blood up.
It's like hot potato with the blood.
So so anyway,
There
but
was-
when you're watching it for the first time,
Like, you're not paying attention to that.
you
Yeah.
miss it. You don't
Yeah.
see it. But I've seen the boom mic in the shot in other shows. I've seen like, or the shadow of the boom.
Yeah, and you're
the
like,
boom mic is crazy.
Or like the reflection of a crew member and the glass doors up there. You're like,
yes, yeah.
that guy doesn't look like he belongs there.
But it happens, I guess.
It happens. You know, everybody's human in this industry. So
yeah.
in every industry. But
just reel it in.
Well, actually, with AI, I guess there are some industries where they're not human, but that one they are, and people make mistakes.
Yes.
So that was one thing that I noticed.
Yeah.
What other things? Like I mentioned before last week, you know, poor JK was getting to that point of exhaustion.
Yeah, you could see the fatigue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think also carrying Jen. So there was a scene where he's bringing in a bunch of random stuff.
Right.
And at one point they're like, okay, we're out of props. What other weird thing can he bring in? And he says, well, let's bring in the prop master. So he lifts up Jin and carries him from the back door and through the living room into the hallway.
Yeah.
And then he's supposed to carry him up the stairs. So then the continuation of that scene is him upstairs carrying him into the room. And they had to do that take so many times because once he puts Jin down, Jin kept looking at the camera. He's not supposed to.
Yes.
He's supposed to be talking to J-Hope, but he's looking at V. He's supposed to be talking to V.
Yeah.
But he's looking at the camera. And so every time, you know, not only did he have to do the slate, but he had to go pick up Jin and put him over his shoulder and kind of fireman carry him into the room.
Absolutely. And that, I know that was exhausting. And he was, and plus he, like we said before, he had to be everywhere every time. There was no, and it was in that episode that Jimin asked him if he wanted to take over for him. And he was like, no, I got it. This was my job.
They told him that he doesn't get any breaks. And he was like, I don't get any breaks. So anytime they were like, oh, we have to like set the cameras, he's like, all right, cool. He sits down, he's just like, I'm just gonna sit down and enjoy this for a second. But yeah, there were some moments where they had to set the cameras, so he did actually get some time to relax in between scenes.
Yeah.
But yeah, they really
wasn't much.
They were really working him.
Yeah.
And then what else happened in 74 and 75?
They was in well, not 74 and 75 and 76.
Sorry, 75 and 76.
They were watching, of course, the takes as they went along, but towards, I think it was the end, not near the end of 76, when they sat down and kind of reviewed the whole thing. And that was a quick editing. I know they had to put us on pause and get it all edited so that they could watch that. And then they give you the opportunity to see it as the audience, you know, watching the show. They give you the opportunity to see it, which was neat to see how it got put together. And then you got to see all the things that they didn't allow you to see, because during the initial taping, you never did see what Jen was wooing about, you know.
Yeah, and then they show, or like when they had JK walking through the living room with all the random stuff, the TV, when they were recording it, was a blue screen.
Yeah.
And then when you see the actual like drama, it's their, I think it was Idol. I think it was their Idol music video.
Yeah. It was their video.
Yeah, it was one of their music videos.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was like when they kind of, I guess, CGI that stuff in.
Yeah.
All the makeup, all the cosmetic products looked all perfect and pristine
and lined up.
But there was one part, or there was one scene where they had a camera in the refrigerator and you saw Jin's reaction. That was the initial. And so you could see the shelves had nothing on them. So then when they get to the final cut and you see all the products, I'm like, yeah, those weren't there.
Yeah.
Those weren't there. But his reaction was solid, because I probably would have reacted the same way if I saw all of those, you know, cosmetic products in a food in a fridge hiding my food.
Especially when they weren't supposed to be there.
Exactly.
They're supposed to have their own special refrigerator.
Yeah, well.
That didn't happen.
Yeah.
But then the tidying of the rooms, they, you know.
Oh, that was funny. Poor J-Hope comes in, after, he sees a whole pile of clothes.
Yeah.
No. He came in and he folded his clothes and
yeah.
had his room all nice and neat, leaves, and then comes back and sees this pile of clothes all, messed up and disarray, and underneath it is Jimin sleep on his bed.
Of course.
And so then he kicks Jimin out, and because of all the hard work that he'll now have to do again, he decides to just kind of collapse onto the mess.
Yes.
But then he does get it done, and then he decides to sleep for a while. He wakes up, comes down to the living room, and sees that it is the hallway.
Yes.
The hallway has clothes, and then he goes into the living room, and there's wrappers and stuff all on the floor. And then it's what was it, JK, V, and RM on the couch watching something, eating ice cream.
Yes.
And then Scary Hobie comes out.
Yeah.
Scary Hobie comes out, and he's just like, "You're filthy. Clean up after yourself." Yeah, I loved it. That was funny too. And I'm trying to think what else. What other significant moments happened, or humorous moments happened? I don't think there were.
Carrying Jimin in. I know you had Jen. Yeah, carrying Jen in was funny. When I couldn't believe that he was going back and forth like you said, and I couldn't believe that he had they said, okay, pick up Jen and bring him in. I'm like, wow. So I mean, that was funny. And then up the steps, to me it was funny. It
was funny. It was funny. It was like, we need more props.
Yeah.
Come here, Jen.
Yeah. Get the prop master.
Get the prop master. Be the prop.
Yes, be the prop.
I think the funniest thing about all of the episodes was whenever JK had a line, most of his lines were just like, "What? What do you want? What?" Like, he never really had, like, he had a couple of like solid lines, but it was a lot of like, "What?
Yeah.
Like, why are you bringing attention to me? What?" And so his facial expression, especially in the one in the living room, when they're trying to figure out the rules, and they come up with his rule of, don't bring in a bunch of stuff, like only bring in adequate amount of stuff.
Yeah.
But you've got V saying his name, like kind of mumbling his name, and they're all looking around like, what is he saying? And he's just like, Jungkookie. Jungkookie. And then finally he looks over, he goes, "What?" It's like his face, he's just like, do you want to fight? Like, what's happening? Why do you keep saying my name? But was
he trying to remind him to do his line?
No, I think he was. I think he was trying to, like, I think the line was that he kept saying his name because that was a problem that they need to address, was JK bringing in a bunch of random stuff.
Oh, okay.
So I think that was it, and he's just like, "Why are you saying my name?" And it's like, "Oh yeah, you know how you brought in like a vacuum cleaner, a laptop, a mattress, and gin off the street."
And one of the toys, right? He brought the
he brought in his costume. His costume.
Yeah.
He brought in a lot of stuff. The mattress, I think dragging the mattress in was hilarious because V's looking at him like, what is this? And he goes, "What? It's a mattress. Like, isn't it amazing?
You have somewhere to sleep."
He's like, "This is good. This I did a good thing." But I think I commented to you about how adorable he looks, like every time he has to do the slate, and he just comes in and he's like, "Okay, and scene whatever," and he has to do it to every camera, and I'm just like, I know he's exhausted, he looks so adorable.
Yeah, he did. He took his job seriously.
Very seriously. Yeah. And we're very proud of him.
Yes. And V, he was very serious about him. Well, all of them were. All of them was. I mean, J-Hope, the stylist.
At one point, J-Hope got really lazy. And
when
V was like doing his scene, and he was struggling, trying to figure out what his hair was supposed to, like, how to do his hair.
Yeah.
And J-Hope's on the couch, just laying down, and they're like, "Hey, stylist, you need to." He's like, "No, he looks pretty. You look pretty. You're good. Why? You don't need me. You're fine." And they're like, "Go style him." He's like, "He looks pretty. My work is done. I don't need to do anything."
He goes upstairs. He has a hat on. He's trying to decide between two hats, and he goes, "Just do something with your bangs."
Yeah, and you're fine. Like,
you're fine. Just do something with your bangs.
Just do that. You're good. But he was just like, "Oh, I'm such a lazy stylist." There was that. Jimin got to play director for a while, and he was really enjoying that. I think, and then there was a moment where Jin and Suga were doing the director role and taking turns yelling "cut" and action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the way that V says action.
Yeah, it's cute.
Action. He could have said that all night. Just action. Action. I love the way he says action.
But I like it when they get really excited and they're like, cut! And they're like the very enthusiastic cut, and they're like, okay.
Who did cut? Was it Jimin that was doing cut for V, and he was doing it too fast?
Yeah, he did cut too fast, and they had to redo it. And he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry."
Yeah.
He's like, "I can't."
He's like, I'm excited. It needs to be over.
Yeah, it needs to be over. Like, I just want to move on to the next scene because, of course, he had to keep time, and he's like, he had to make sure. Like, they were doing after the first initial, filming in the 74. With all of the takes and nearly running out of time,
right?
They got on board and they figured out like, okay, we need to be better at this, guys. And so their takes and everything, they had a whole bunch of time left over for each scene because they were allotted a certain amount of time for each scene that they had to do, and they were coming in under the amount of time. So I think Jimin was really happy with that, and he was just like, gotta keep going, and he cut too quickly, and they're like, well, we got to do it again. And he's like, dang it. But they still came in under.
They did come in under.
So, good job. Good job, Jimin.
Yeah, they did come in under. But you guys have to see it. I know you've probably already seen it. Some of you might
some of you haven't. And if you haven't, you should.
You should.
Just like all the other episodes that we talk about in this podcast, go watch them. Because the one thing I like about these episodes and covering the episodes in contrast to the lyrics of their albums is that it's a different side of them that you get to see. Like, you get to see the playful, fun, chaotic energy of them when they're together and how they react and relate to each other. And even though, these things are not scripted, but like they're kind of outlined how these episodes are going to go. The interactions between each of the members with each other and stuff, that's all real. That's how they are with each other. And so it's really nice. It's refreshing to see, after you come off of some really hard hitting lyrics about, standing up for yourself and not agreeing with the government and everything's unfair. And then then you come to this playful, where they're getting to act in a drama or play foot volleyball horribly. If you know, you know. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. You get to see them, being like brothers to each other, being siblings, annoying each other and getting on each other's nerves, but also loving each other.
And the root of that dynamic that plays out on the stage.
Because that too.
That it's because of that, and that relationship.
We're so excited we get to see.
When you see that, the way they act towards one another on the stage, that's where that dynamic comes from.
That's it's another variety time that you get to see it.
You get to see it, because they're really just fun together. They really are.
At their heart, they're family.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. So. Absolutely. They are. So.
Well, I don't think there's anything else left to say, and I think we're going to come out a little under on our time on this one too, but that's okay. Like, Jimin would be proud of us because we're coming out under time.
Under time.
And we're not, we're not keeping you too long, so that's good. Yes. But we wanted to make sure we didn't go over, and so that's why we broke it into 2 episodes, but whatever. It is what it is.
Yes.
So, go watch it. Dalbang. I don't know if I said that right. Whatever. It's okay. I will learn.
Dorm.
The dorm drama.
The dorm
73
drama.
through 76.
Yeah, 73.
And we will be back with I think we'll be back with our concert review episodes. Because we'll have just been to the Vegas shows.
Yes.
Yeah, so we've got that going.
We are excited.
We are so excited. We're not going to talk about it too much because we're going to talk about it next week.
Yes,
but
we'll talk about it next week.
Stay tuned because
we're going to talk about
it. And for like it's so exciting, and for those who we're lucky enough to get tickets and are going and experiencing it in the cities that they're going to, if you've already experienced it, we're loving seeing all the fan cams and seeing your guys' reactions to it, and I guess we're just going to contribute to those reactions.
Yes, and thanks, and with the fan cams, thanks for catching some really good shots.
Yes,
really good shots.
We are indebted to you.
Yes, we are.
Unfortunately, I'm not talented enough to, nor will I probably not be recording because I'm going to be in the moment, so I won't have any fan cams of my own to upload probably. But if I do, if some make it and I'm like, hey, this is actually really good, I'll share, because sharing is caring.
I'm not going to.
She's not going to record at all.
Because I'll always forget to hit the button.
Yes, which is why we record on my phone.
Yes.
And I'm the one I'm the director here.
Yes, because no matter what, first of all, if I have my camera out and anybody sees me looking as if I'm recording, the comment always is, did you press the button?
Did you press the button? Which I have to ask, because you did press you did press the button, right?
I pressed the button.
That button?
Yeah.
Okay.
I pressed the button.
We'll see. If you're hearing this, she pressed the button. If you don't, well, you'll never know.
I pressed the button.
I have faith in you.
Thank you.
I have faith in you.
Okay.
So oh my God, where did my brain go? That's what you have to look forward to. That's what you have to look forward to next week. We'll be talking about the shows that we're going to in Vegas. We're going to day 3 and day 4.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll be experiencing those, and we do have freebies to hand out, so we'll be showing those and stuff. We still got a couple more to finish up, and then we'll be ready to go with that.
And say hi if you see us.
Yeah, and if I'm okay, I'm gonna admit I'm blind. I probably won't see people until you're like right in front of me. But I will say hi. My eyesight sucks. Like, when people are like, "Oh, you saw me across the room," I was like, "No, I didn't." No, I didn't. I just have that glazed over look all the time. I did not see you until you made yourself present, and then I was like, "Oh, hey." Yeah. These glasses. At this point, I feel like these glasses are just a prop.
Thank you, Jen.
Thank you, Jen. These glasses are literally just a prop because, they from far away they serve very little purpose.
Yeah, well,
not as much purpose as they should. Maybe I should talk to my eye doctor about that.
Yeah, somebody you should probably talk to.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up, and we will see you guys next week. Bye.